Kia ora, and good evening, and good night, and good morning, and whichever part of the world you are in. Hello, everybody. My name is Arun Jacob, and I'm a licensed New Zealand immigration advisor coming live to you from the beautiful city of Hamilton in New Zealand. It just turned 12 in the night for me, so I have just entered the 2nd of October here in New Zealand, and I'm probably the only guy doing a live immigration session from New Zealand right now. But I'm coming live to you on YouTube on the AJV Global, channel, and also for the from our Facebook AJV Global channel as well. And today's topic is it's been a while since I used to do a lot of these live sessions before. And but of late, our team has grown quite dramatically. And now we have 8 licensed advisors on the team. And as the senior most advisor on the team, my specialty of late is working with people who are wanting to set up a business in New Zealand, or those who would like to create an investment in New Zealand and use either setting up a business, which will come under the entrepreneur category, or an investment into New Zealand, where they don't have to set up a business, but they can just make an investment into New Zealand. So I tend to look at these categories of visas. So today's session is specifically about these two, and I know a lot of you who will come online, and I already see some people are coming in to say hello, and I can say, I can see Kay said, Manoj and on Facebook, and there's Shamal on Facebook, and I can see Rohit Lohit on YouTube. So hello guys, welcome to all of you. And Shamal says, disappointed that I'm not eligible for the PR pathway as per recent announcement. However, happy for those who are eligible. Like your attitude, Shamal. Yeah, no, unfortunately, yeah, it was a pretty big uh, what do you call announcement yesterday from the government of New Zealand, where they are pretty much granting residents to about 165,000 people who are based in New Zealand. But today's topic is not about that. Our topic is today going to be purely on the entrepreneur work visa and the investor category, if somebody is interested. And so, yeah, Shamal, don't worry. Stay in touch with our team. Tomorrow, in fact, myself and Mary, we are doing another live session totally on the recent changes that have occurred with the government decision. So we'll be talking more about it. So Shamal, if you want to jump back tomorrow and ask some questions, there we'll be happy to answer those for you. But in the meantime, Manoj says hello and says, please let me know regarding entrepreneur category as my brother is in Auckland. Absolutely, Manoj. I'll be, chatting about the entrepreneur. I'll quickly say hello to everybody who's here, at least the first few. And Kay says, love the timings, Arun. Good to see you back on these videos. Thanks, Kay. Yeah, I've been missing these as well. But like I said, we have a big, large team now, and they're slowly pushing me into retirement. And I'm focusing mostly on the entrepreneur and on the investor category. And that's why, I'm doing this special session. We are also, kind of targeting people from India and the Middle East and those kinds of countries who are interested to set up businesses. Mohammed says he's interested. Can you give me more details? Thanks, Mohammed. And you've already shared your number, so we will certainly come back to you with more details. But let me give, and quite a few other people are there. Kay, Manoj and everybody. So I'll give a bit of an overview about the entrepreneur work visa. To give some key points about the entrepreneur work visa, here are some of the highlights about this particular visa. So, as part of New Zealand's COVID recovery, because obviously COVID has affected a lot of countries around the world, and so has New Zealand been affected as well. So, because we now need to recover out of this COVID and grow our economy back strongly, the government is keen to welcome entrepreneurs and investors because entrepreneurs not only come in with very valuable capital into the country, but they also create employment, which will, of course, help our economy to grow stronger, which is fantastic. So, and it does not need a lot of money for the entrepreneur work visa category. It can start as low as $100,000, which is for those of you from India, it is approximately 50 lakhs of rupees or above investment. So, and nowadays 50 lakhs is not a very big sum. So, 100,000 New Zealand dollars or 50 lakhs. Although we recommend to at least think of starting a business with at least $200,000, because as a business person myself, I understand you will not have a lot of moving room with only 100,000. Strangely enough, in fact, this 100,000 can also be waived if you're going to set up a business in a high growth area like ITC, like information technology or other high value exported oriented sectors, which demonstrate a high level of innovation or credible short-term high growth prospects. So minimum requirement is $100,000, but this can also be waived if you're going to set up something in science or IT or high value export oriented sectors. And for the money, but like I said, we recommend at least $200,000, which is 1 crore of rupees. There is no age limit for this particular category, but there are no points towards age after you cross 60 years of age. So if you're 65 years of age and you still want to come into New Zealand on an entrepreneur work visa, definitely possible. But you will not be given points for your age, but you can make up those points from other areas like how much money you're investing, how much employment you'll create, which city it's going to be set up, and all those kinds. But once we receive your inquiries, we can do a detailed assessment. And what else? You can either start your own business, new business, or you can invest into a running business in New Zealand and become a working partner, as long as somebody buys 25% or more of an existing successful company in New Zealand. That can also be considered. So you don't necessarily have to set up an entirely new business. And ideally, applicants must have business experience or senior management experience. And again, there are clear definitions what senior management would be. But I'm just giving the whole generic idea as what are all the requirements. You require an IELTS, which is the English test, of course, of only 4 in general, which is not very high. If you take the equivalent of it into PTE, that's only 29. So you'll need to get IELTS of 4 or more for both the principal applicant and the wife and children who are 16 and above. Or in case you are not able to crack even that IELTS of 4, then there is another way of overcoming it, which is called pre-purchase of something called the ESOL package. So that can also be done. Again, I don't want to get into too many details. Once you guys send your inquiry, we will talk to you one-on-one and provide it. So yeah, entrepreneur work visas will be granted for up to 3 years. Initially, it's called the startup stage, which is for 12 months. And then you'll have something called the balance stage, which is for 24 months. So the first 12 months is towards setting up the company and the business and starting operations. And the next 2 years is to make sure in the balance stage to make sure that you reach a good and reach all the targets that you mentioned in your business plan at the time of applying for the visa. So you'll have 2 years to achieve that. If somebody invests $500,000 or more, which is 2.5 crores or more, then you can apply for residence after 6 months only. And if you have created at least 3 sustainable full-time jobs. So if you put in $500,000, which is 2.5 crores, and also create 3 full-time employment in New Zealand, then you can actually apply for your resident visa after only 6 months. This is a great benefit for those with a slightly higher capital to invest. Or even if you've started a business without $500,000, let's say you've run the business for at least 2 years and met the requirements to get the resident visa, then also you can apply for the resident visa. Yeah, so these are pretty much some of the key points about the entrepreneur work visa. So I am now going to quickly say um, if there are any questions which are specific. So, Manoj, I hope I have given you the overall overview of the entrepreneur work visa. I covered the main points, and I hope that gives you enough details. So, what you can do, Manoj, is of course, share your contact details with us here in this chat, or you can inbox it separately to AJV Global Facebook or to my Facebook, and we will connect with you one on one, and then we will take it forward from there. Mohammed, same thing with you. You have already shared your contact details, and I have given some basic information in the first last 10 minutes of this session. And yeah, now that we have your contact details, we will get in touch with you and we will definitely move it forward from there. Right. So, Manoj, you're asking some question. Your question is that your brother has stores in Moscow and Auckland and Dunedin. Should I purchase? I don't know if you're referring whether you want to purchase a franchise of your brother's company and store and set it up in Dunedin. But because you've shared your number, Manoj, what we will do is we will definitely get in touch with you. One of our senior team members based in India. So we will get in touch with you. So we have team members in New Zealand, in Malaysia, in India, and in the US. Till recently, we had somebody in Canada as well, but unfortunately, that person went on leave, and we will soon try and replace that person. So yeah, Neelam says hello, Arun. Hi, Neelam. Good to hear from you. If you guys have any queries, please go ahead and ask. I'll quickly flip to YouTube to see if any questions are there. And Rohit asks on YouTube if when will borders be open? Rohit, I wish it was in my hands. It will. If it was in my hands, of course, I would have worked harder. I mean, I'm not to say that the government is not working harder, but I think the government is taking a reasonably open view now because Delta has entered New Zealand, and although they're trying very hard to try and curb it, there is still a little bit of pushback from the virus. So in my opinion, Rohit, by April of next year, there should be a reasonably free movement between New Zealand and the rest of the world. And I think the earlier all you guys and girls listening to this broadcast get vaccinated and get the double vaccination if possible, and and if your country is issuing the vaccine passports and stuff like that, get it already, because I think it's only a matter of another 6 months before the government will have to start opening up. Today we were reading some news in our local news media that Australia is on the verge of opening up. And you know what Australia does normally, New Zealand tends to do pretty soon. So, yeah, so that's the way it is. All right. So, yeah, it's good to be back here. Right. So, Manoj is again putting in a lot of information. Manoj, you said that your well, that your brother's running something called Pizza Bella and you would like to go in as a partner. Yeah, absolutely, Manoj. Like I said, the other thing is, because obviously you're planning to come in as an entrepreneur, it won't be right for us to discuss your all your details here on a public forum like Facebook. But thanks for sharing your number. I have seen that you have put your number down, Manoj. So yeah, I have your number down here. So expect a call. Today is Friday. Expect a call from my team early next week, Manoj, because we don't work on Saturdays and Sundays. And so on Monday or Tuesday, you will definitely get a call from either Ruben or from Sai, who are two of our senior most people in our team in India. And they work with me directly as a small group within our larger team. And we guys specifically focus on the entrepreneur work with us. So thanks for sharing all those details, Manoj. So we will definitely have a nice long chat with you and see how best we can. In fact, we will do a one-on-one consultation once you understand the entire process. Okay, great. So Sudhamai Singh says, my IELTS score stands 897.5, 7.5. How are my chances of getting a New Zealand PR? Hey, Sudhamai, I mean, that's a fantastic score, by the way. 8, 9, 7.5, and 7.5 is definitely very good score in IELTS, I would say. So well done, congratulations. And what are my chances of getting a New Zealand PR? Now, unfortunately, it's not just the English score that determines whether we can get a PR in New Zealand or not. There are first and foremost, we need to ascertain which pathway are you looking at, because for getting residence and permanent residence in New Zealand, there are different pathways. So today's session is specifically for some of you who would like to come in as investors or entrepreneurs. So that is one pathway. So investors is one pathway, entrepreneurs is one pathway, skilled migrant category is one pathway, work to residence is one pathway, study and settle is one particular pathway. So there were various pathways, Sudhamai. And you also just now mentioned that you're working as an automation engineer, which is a fantastic profile. So your English is fantastic, your background is fantastic, and IT is in the long-term skills shortage list of New Zealand. So yeah, we would. I think you would be very, very highly valued. I think your chances would be very good. It's just that we need to know and figure out which particular pathway you fit into. So what I would like you to do, Sudhamai, is also share your number with us. And on Monday or Tuesday, one of our team members will get in touch with you, gather more information, because I'm sure you'll appreciate this is a live session, and I will probably not be able to take up individual cases and discuss them in detail. So, but if you can share your number, one of our team members will get in touch with you, gather your CV, have a look to see which particular pathway suits you best, and then we will take it forward from there. And we will, whichever is the most economical and the most which takes the least of time, money, and effort is the pathway that we will suggest to you, depending on what fits your profile. So, like I said, there are 5 or 6 pathways, and I'm certain with your English and with your background, one particular pathway will definitely suit you. So please share your number. If you don't want to share it here or publicly, you can inbox it to our messages on AJV Global or Facebook, or you can inbox my Facebook as well. Add me as a friend and inbox me, and then we'll pick it up from there. All right. So Manoj says, thank you. Bye. All right, Manoj, we will talk to you early next week. And you sound like somebody who's already got a good base here in New Zealand, because your brother is already established. I think people like you will do really well, because also because of the family support that is already existing in New Zealand. Yeah, I think we will, once we talk to you, we will, yeah, definitely get in touch more for you. Okay, cool. Quickly going through the questions. I'll also take a quick sip of water. These live sessions can be quite tough on the throat, I must tell you that. Okay, Neelam, Manoj, yeah, we got your number. Siddhamai, I have already spoken to. Siddhamai, please share your number and send in your number, and we will talk to you. You said you also wanted to understand the job and life prospects in New Zealand economically. Like I said, with your background, I think you will do really, really well. Yeah. Okay. Niranjan. Hi, Niranjan. Hi, Bhavan. Lovely to see you here. Always a pleasure. Yeah, absolutely, Niranjan. We will go ahead, and I'm still talking to the people in the business migration branch, and we are exchanging some emails about the funds transfer. I think we will sort it out, because that's more a technical issue rather than what do I call a systemic issue. It's not like you don't have the money. You have the money. It's just that how to transfer it from point A to point B. We'll figure it out. So yeah, hang in there, and yeah, looking forward to also getting your paperwork done, and hopefully we will see you here in New Zealand very, very soon. Thanks for being here. Lovely to see you here as well. Neelam says hi, Arun. Sorry, Shipra. She's just using, excuse me, Neelam's, I think, login. Uh, so Shipra Verma from Delhi, I'm in touch with Mariam from your team regarding NZ visa. Fantastic. Thanks, Shipra, for already being in touch with my colleague Mariam. She's a fantastic young lady, young mom as well. And I hope she's been giving you all the information you want. You're looking for EWV category. I would like to ask, what are the chances for residency and minimum investment that is required. So, Nilam, I think you came in a little late into this particular session, but after this session is over, if you go back to the starting 10 minutes of this, I'll give a complete overview on how the entrepreneur work visa works and what are all the minimum requirements for the entrepreneur work visa. It's a good idea for you to explore the entrepreneur work visa as well, along with the other category that you're discussing with Mariam. What are the chances of residency? I think the chances for residency under the entrepreneur work visa would be pretty high because, like I said again at the start of this live session, I did mention that the government of New Zealand would like to invite people who are entrepreneurs and investors, probably give them a slightly higher preference because you guys will bring in very valuable money into our economy. Plus, part of the entrepreneur work visa pathway means that you also have to create new employment here for New Zealand residents or citizens. So you'll be very, very highly valued. So I think what we might want to do, Shipra, is uh, get back in touch with Mariam or my colleagues Ruben or Sai, who look after the entrepreneur work visa. Will get your number from Mariam and talk to you and perhaps set up a one-to-one discussion with me, because normally the way this works is if somebody is interested to do the entrepreneur work visa, then initially my team does the initial screening, and then they book a one-to-one consultation with me, which is how Niranjan, our friend who is here in this chat today from Sri Lanka, I've already finished my one-on-one consultation with him and quite a few other good clients from Sri Lanka. And then after that, every time there is any other query, I get back, and so I'm kind of now specializing, or I'm the specialist in AJV Global for EWV and the investor category. So I'd say, Shipra, get in touch with Mariam and take Ruben's or Sai's number. And alternatively, I will also ask one of these boys to give you a call and set up a consultation. Right. Niranjan says, one quick question. If for an unlikely event we failed at fulfilling EW requirements, can we look for other options such as skilled immigration pathway to secure PR? Absolutely, Niranjan. And that is the reason, as a practice, we like to create a good, long, sustaining relationship with our clients because, circumstances keep changing. Everybody expects to do the best in business. Like I started off wanting to do the best in business. And the last thing I expected was something called COVID to come and hit my business. So, unexpected things can happen, for circumstances beyond our control. But the good thing is, since you'll already be in New Zealand, we'll be able to figure out other pathways. And all I can tell you out of my experience of working in this industry now for the last almost 18 years now, I've been in the New Zealand immigration industry. I can tell you that once you're in the country, it becomes a lot easier to open up other pathways as well. So use the AWE, come in with good intentions and good thoughts and good aspirations to create a successful business. Unfortunately, something goes wrong beyond your control, or another pandemic or something else happening, we definitely can work out. So, and that's the thing. That's the reason we have a continuous relationship with our clients, Niranjan, and we will always be a phone call away for figuring out which is the best way to navigate, depending on the change circumstances. Cool. Right, Shipra. I hope I have answered you, Shipra. And you already have, okay, I think you came back and said you already done 11 months at UOA at level 9. Excellent. That's brilliant. And you already have a PG dip. So, I mean, that's great. You already have experience of New Zealand and you've already been here. And like I was saying earlier, there was another gentleman on this, live session called, I think it was Manoj. Yeah, Manoj also said that his brother is here. It always helps when you already have a bit of a background in New Zealand. Like for him, his brother it was already here. You've already been here in New Zealand, Shipra. So makes it so much easier for you guys to come back and sort of reestablish yourself in New Zealand. So yeah, great, good background. And UAE is a good University of Auckland is a fantastic institution. And although you got out with a had a PG diploma, although you joined for a master's, still has a postgraduate qualification from one of the best universities in New Zealand. So I think it will definitely hold you in good stead. But let's explore the EWE pathway as well. So I'll ask one of my colleagues, Ruben or Sai, to get in touch with you, Shipra, and we'll set up a one-on-one consultation. Right, cool. Uh, so Nilam, okay, you wanted to say if I wanted to ask if you take up study pathway, how much more do I have to study? I mean, obviously, because you've already done your PhD, I'd say you will have to come back and finish your master's, which might be another 1 year more of study. But then, like I said, instead of putting all our eggs into one basket, let's also explore the EWE pathway as well. And we will explore both your master's pathway as well as your EWE pathway. All right, Shipra, I hope that makes sense. Niranjan says, thank you, Arun. That's reassuring and peace of mind. Absolutely, Niranjan. Don't worry. Like I said, immigration processes are not easy. They can be complex. They can be difficult. Sometimes they can be heartbreaking, and which is the reason we like to get very very invested into our clients, Niranjan. And for us, it's not this one-time interaction and that forgetting who you are after you're done with your visa. No, we like to work with them. I mean, my clients from 2004 are still my friends. They still invite me to their housewarming parties or other things. So yeah, not a problem at all. Okay, don't worry. We are here to take care of you, and that is the AJV global promise. That's what we pride ourselves on, is that we stand by our people, and we will definitely help each and every one. Okay. Then I have questions. I'm just give me a couple of minutes, guys. I'm gonna quickly check YouTube to see is so Skies from I've just flicked to YouTube and there is somebody called Skies. Says MBA from India. Any scope? I don't know what exactly is your question, Skies. Now, if you're saying, is there a scope of a future in New Zealand for somebody who has done MBA from India? Of course, there would be scope, But again, like I told earlier in the session, we will need to assess to see what exactly is it that is the pathway that will match you. And if you're able to fit into one of those pathways, of course, there'll be a future. So what I would recommend, Skies, is I'm not sure if that's your real name, but I'll have to call you Skies because that's the only name I have. So what I would suggest is share your number with us. Get onto Facebook or email info@ajvglobal.com. Share your contact number. Send your CV to us. We will take a look at it and say, hey, look, buddy, these are the best pathways available for you in New Zealand. This path A will cost you so much and so much time. Pathway will be so much money and so much time. And C, D, E, F, we can give you all the details. All right. So yeah, happy to answer your Skies, but we will need to know who you are, so which means please email your CV to info@ajvglobal.com and we will pick it up and come back to you and talk to you once again. Jyoti, in the meanwhile, could you also on this, Jyoti is my colleague who is monitoring all these live sessions. She is one of our marketing, stalwarts who helps all of us licensed advisors to run our session smoothly. Jyoti, just post the video of my entrepreneur work visas onto this Facebook chat so that Shipra and the others and Manoj, Shipra and Muhammad and some of the others who had queries can also watch those videos and get some more information as well. Okay, so Deepta Vimala Sena says, one immigration consultant in Dubai said he can get me work visa with a job for me. Is it true? I am a qualified accountant with more than 15 years. Is it true? Uh, Deepta, I'll be very, very suspect of people like this, and especially somebody making promises like that. Because if it was that easy, then why do I have to sit in the middle of my night? It's 12:30 in the night and talk to people and engage them and and explain to them everything. It's not easy, Deepta. And any guy who says that pay me X amount of money and I will get you a job and a work visa, it's practically impossible. Go on to my YouTube channel, go on to Arun Jacob and say, I think there is a video which says something like, is it easy to find a job and settle down in New Zealand? There is a video which I did a couple of 2 or 3 years ago, and it is there. It's not an easy thing. And I think some of these people, they just take advantage of the desire of good professionals like yourself to move from one country to another country like New Zealand. So it is, I can tell you very, very strongly, as somebody who lives in I've lived in New Zealand now for 20 years. I moved here in 2001, and I know the society very well. I know this professional setup of this country very well, and it is absolutely impossible to find a job from outside when you're outside New Zealand. And for some guy, some immigration consultant, to promise you that he can get you a job and a work visa, I would say that sounds like a scam to me. Be very, very careful. The I think the only people who get such kind of job offers even before they enter New Zealand are extraordinarily highly skilled IT people or scientists, and those kinds of people. Accounting is not um, I wouldn't say, I'm not, putting accounting below, but I'm talking about highly technical fields is probably the only place where somebody can be headhunted from New Zealand and then encouraged to come into New Zealand. So I'd say this guy sounds like a scam to me. So be very careful, Deepta. Instead, send your CV, inbox it to the Facebook, this group, this page where you're watching this video now, or email it to info@ajvglobal.com. One of our professional assessment team members will take a look at it and say, hey, Deepta, this is the particular pathway that will suit you. But please be careful about anybody promising you a work visa with a job while you're still not in New Zealand. I don't believe that's true. Okay. Shipra says, thank you for answering. My pleasure, Shipra. Yeah, absolutely. We would love to. My team will definitely get in touch with you, and let's set up a consultation. And after the consultation, then we end up writing a nice business plan with our business plan specialist. And even if it takes you a couple of years to eventually set up this business, you'll have that lovely business plan with a lot of research done about the New Zealand business environment and stuff like that. So yeah, well, I'm looking forward to exploring that pathway with you as well. All right. Pranav ABS says, hey Arun, your new look is simply superb. If you're talking about the gray hair, Pranav. Okay, well, what to do, Pranav? I have a before COVID and after COVID picture. So this is the after COVID Arun Jacob. So but hey, look, thanks so much, buddy. Yeah, I'm doing well. It's been one of the most challenging phases of my life, and not only for me individually, but for my entire team. It has been very challenging. For this entire industry, it has been challenging. For this entire country, it has been challenging. For this entire globe, it has been challenging. So I guess I'm not the only guy, but yeah, that's the effect of COVID, Pranav. Thankfully, the hair is still there, but I'm doing well, buddy. Thanks for asking. Okay, Prasad Palati asks, what will be the minimum investment for entrepreneur work visa? Prasad, again, I think you joined late, but after I'm done with this session, it will sit as a video on this on our AJV Global Facebook page. But the minimum investment, Prasad, is 100,000 New Zealand dollars, which will be approximately 50 lakhs Indian rupees. That 100,000 can also be waived if you come out with a business plan in high tech areas like IT or science, or some really high growth industry, or some magnificent export possibility. Then it can actually be waived. So the minimum investment, technically, as per the government rules of New Zealand, is 100,000, but you don't get points at 100,000. You only start getting points from $200,000 onwards towards your capital investment. And I also, as a business person established in New Zealand and understanding the costs and the other cash flow issues pertaining to a business in New Zealand, know that 100,000 will be less to start a business. So I say get onto this entrepreneur pathway only if you have at least $200,000 to invest, because that will give you that breathing space and enough capital and enough buffer to take 1 year to set up the company and then run it for 2 more years and reach the profitability that you'll put into your business plan. So yes, minimum investment is 100,000 officially, but my recommendation, my suggestion is 200,000. And please watch that video that my colleague Jyoti posted above, which says everything about moving abroad that New Zealand I have given more details in that video. All right. And Prasad, also please share your number so that one of our specialist team members who works with me directly on the entrepreneur work visa and investor category visas will get in touch with you, share some more details with you. And if you're interested to go forward, we will also set up a one-to-one session between yourself and myself. We normally tend to do it on Zoom. And in that 1.5 or 2 hours, however long it takes, we will discuss, what is your background, where's your money coming from, how much money do you have, is it readily available, or do you have to raise it from somewhere? So all those other 100 questions that you have, we can answer in a one-to-one consultation session. But before that, have a chat with my colleagues, Ruben or Sai. And if you inbox your number or you share it, thanks, Prasad, you've already shared your number. That's fantastic. So Ruben or Sai will get in touch with you early next week because we don't work on the weekends. And yeah, we will, give you more details. And if you are interested to take it forward, I would love to set up a one-to-one consultation where I'm not talking to a whole group, but I'll be talking only to you, Prasad, and we can go step by step, and all the details can be discussed. Thanks for sharing your number, Prasad. Shipra, again, do we need to enter capital investment in one go or not? Again, that's something that I'll be able to give you more details in a one-to-one consultation. But I can tell you right now that all the entire capital in one investment. So in your business plan, let's say we have written saying that Shipra is going to invest $200,000 into a particular business in New Zealand. So in the first year, which is your startup stage, you'll be expected to set up the company, set up the bank account, and transfer that whole lot into that particular bank account to show that you actually had that money available to you, and it was not just something you wrote on the business plan. But once that money comes and sits into your bank, it is not necessary you have to spend it all immediately. But you need to be able to transfer that entire money once you set up your bank account under that company's name, Shipra. But again, like I said, there are a lot of other questions that you will come up with, and which is why it will be nice if you can go ahead and set up a one-on-one consultation with us. Okay, cool. What else? Let me quickly check on YouTube. Oh, cool. Okay, somebody is asking about visitor visa. Somebody called DDDD. Okay, I don't know what your name is, DD, DD, but I'll have to call you DDDD because that's what it says on YouTube. So, hey, look, for the time being, the visitor category is not going to be accepted till end of February. I think that is quite clearly evident. Whether your father can come in, and even if he does come in, of course, it will only be for a limited period on the visitor visa. So the entrepreneur work visa might actually work quite well for your father because also there is no age limit on the entrepreneur work visa. As long as your father is in good health and good character and no pending, cases or anything in any court and stuff like that. So I think, yeah, there should not be a problem. I think for considering he's your father and he might fall out of the bracket of most other visa categories, Didi, I might say, yeah, send us your details, send us an email to info@ajv, to info@ajvglobal.com. Send us your contact details. If possible, send us a little bit of background information about your dad, what he has done before, has he done business, how old is he, and all that stuff. And we will pick it up from there and assess and let you know what will be the best option for your father, whether to come in as a visitor. I mean, for instance, if it's not in good health or, there is some medical condition which may prevent him from getting a longer term visa, we will advise you and we will tell you, hey, look, don't waste your time and money on trying to get an entrepreneur work visa. And then we might recommend just bring him in as a visitor as many times as you can, spend some time and go away. So, but we can only do that if you share your contact details and more information. So please send an email with some details to info@ajvglobal.com. If you're based in New Zealand, you can, of course, call our toll free number, which is 0800 696977. We also have a toll free number in India. I'll have to go to my website to remember because I can never remember that number. Okay, yeah. Our India toll free number is 1-800-103-6525. That is our India toll free number. And in New Zealand, our toll free number is 0800-696977. Or you can just email us at info@ajvglobal.com. Okay, and we will pick it up from there. I am really enjoying this live session. It's been a long time since I did something like this. I've been the lazy boss and letting my wonderful team do most of the work nowadays. I've been busy making movies, guys. I made a nice, really nice short film and recently, and I won some awards for it. Right, excellent. Rajan Khadka from Nepal. If possible, would like to know about PhD study opportunity in New Zealand. Thank you. All right, Rajan. Although this session is specifically aimed at assisting and helping people or who would like to come to New Zealand as entrepreneurs, I can share a little bit of information to you about the PhD. Fantastic option to consider to do a PhD in New Zealand. Some very good benefits. First and foremost, you will not have to pay international fees. You will only pay domestic fees because we want to attract PhD researchers. Second, you will also get pretty much full working rights. So you can be doing a PhD and also be working full time. Third, if you're married, your wife would also get, or spouse or partner would also get a full time work visa. If you have kids, they will get domestic status, which means they'll be eligible for free education in New Zealand. What else? Yeah, I mean, and PhDs are highly valued in New Zealand, and we would love to work with you and assist you if you're willing to come to New Zealand on a PhD, provided you have the topic for a good research project. Yeah, we would love to work with you. So, Rajan, what I would suggest is email your CV to info@ajvglobal.com, and one of our team members based in India, because you're based in Nepal, one of our team members based in India who works in the same time zone as you will give you a call, and we will give you more details about the PhD, but also get onto the AJV Global YouTube channel and search for doing a PhD in New Zealand. There will definitely be bound to be a lot of informative videos there already. Or you can even search my channel called Arun Jacob. Come to my channel and look out for Arun Jacob is the name of the channel, and search for benefits of doing a PhD in New Zealand. And if you like all that, then send us your CV, and we will get in touch with you and advise you how we can proceed from there. But very, very good idea to consider a PhD in New Zealand. Right. Who else is this? So we have. Okay, so Shipra is asking, is Neelam, is India toll-free number is chargeable? Shipra, when it's because it's toll-free, it is toll-free. So there's no charge on it. So you can definitely just call free of cost. And your next question was, can we buy a running business in New Zealand, or do we need our own business plan? Yeah, you can buy a running business. I mean, you can definitely set up write a business plan for a new business. But let's say you plan to come and set up. I'm just taking off the top of my head. I'm thinking of a particular. Let's say you want to set up an IT consulting firm in New Zealand, and that's what you write into your business plan. And then you come into New Zealand, and then you realize that there is an IT consulting firm for sale, and you decide to buy it. That's fine, because you haven't changed the business entirely. It's just you've changed it from starting new to buying something that's existing. So that's absolutely fine, Shipra. That's not a problem. But again, like I said, you'll have a lot of questions about this. So I'll not be. I'll actually be stopping this session in the next 5 or 10 minutes. So let's have that one-on-one interaction, and we will be able to take it forward. And see all those questions. How long does the timeline of getting the EWA visa, it'll take between 8 to 15 months from the time of application to get the EWE. And how much time can file for PR depends on how much money you have invested. If you invested 500,000, then you can actually apply after 6 months. But if it's below that, then you'll have to wait for 1 plus 2 years, which is the startup and the next stage, and then we can go. So, like I said, I can see you have a lot of questions. So, please do consider setting up a one-on-one consultation with me. Excellent. Javed says, hello. Hi, Javed. Hope you're doing well. Mm. And it says, interested entrepreneur work visa requirements and eligibility. So, Javed, I shared all those details already at the start of this live session. And I think this has been going on now for 46 minutes. So once the session is over and it comes and sits as a video, it will be there on our Facebook page and also on our YouTube channel. Plus, if you want, we also have a separate document that we can email it to you. But for that, you will need to first email us with to info@ajvglobal.com so that we know where to send that information. But the basic requirements are you need to be able to invest at least 100,000 New Zealand dollars. You need to, there's no limit on age. You need to have at least 4 in your IELTS. You need to have some, experience in business. You need to get 120 points or more to be able to apply for this particular category of visa. So these are the basics of the absolute basics, Javed. And so we can only assess and see whether what your eligibility is once we get some information from you. So for that, I would say share your number, inbox your number, or share it here, and one of my colleagues will get in touch with you, and we will gather more information. Based on that, we can do your eligibility assessment, and if we get your if you're eligible, then we'll advise you what are the next steps, how much it will cost, how much time it will take, and all those kinds of things. And we can move it forward from there. All right. Okay, Javed. So please do share your number or email your CV with a contact number to info@ajvglobal.com. Sorry, I got distracted because there were some more comments. Sheikh Abdul Khadir. Hello, sir. Since this COVID situation, how can we apply for visit visa to see where we can invest? Business plan will follow once we have market analysis. Yeah, I mean, I know, Sheikh, what you're saying, potentially makes sense, but that is the reason you're hiring someone like us, who are specialists in entrepreneur work visa. Because, even in case they don't open the visitor visa, why do you want to wait for so long? Because only because you want to come and visit. I mean, even if you come for a 1 week visit, what will you learn so much in 1 week that we can't help you with? So the way we work at the moment is that, so we do all the research on your behalf. We do all the background checks on your behalf. We do all those kinds of things. And that's the reason you guys pay us a consulting fee and a processing fee so that we can be your representatives, Sheikh. So opening of visitor visa, I don't know. And also, will you get a visitor visa to come and assess business plans? We will not know unless we are able to take a look at your background, your CV. How strong is it? Have you already been in business? Because as you're aware, a lot of people, like to apply for business visas, and then they go and try to find jobs. So, most immigration departments are a little wary of giving visitor visas to people who say that they want to go and scout for business opportunities. And that is where I think, companies like ours comes into the picture, where we can actually, do that role for you guys, do, like, for instance, one of our friends on this chat called Niranjan, who's from Sri Lanka, has now, totally hired our services to do all this work on his behalf. So, and that's what we're doing at the moment. We're working on doing the research to write a good business plan, and if he tells us tomorrow saying, hey, look, can you please pick up the phone and speak on my behalf to XYZ in this particular cities and check if there are any opportunities, we'll be happy to do that, Sheikh. So I would say share your contact number. One of our team members will get in touch with you, or email your CV to info@ajvglobal.com, and we will get in touch with you and advise you whether you're eligible to actually consider a visitor visa, or you would need to start the EWV process while you're still outside. Niranjan's next question. Uh, EWV point grid selection criteria 120. May I know everyone who scores 120 points get the invitation to apply, or does it go through a selection draw? So there is no lottery system as such, Niranjan. So by and large, everybody who gets 120 points will be invited to apply for this particular visa. Uh, but they will be very, very careful to check that the 120 points claimed were legitimately claimed, and which is where, again, once we compile the rest of your documents, let's say, for instance, I'm just taking an example. Let's say we are claiming 10 points for senior management, or 40 points for relevant self-employment. So that is where the immigration department will get into the details of scrutinizing whether all those 40 points can actually be allotted or not be allotted. If some of the documentation was not clear, then they might say, hey, look, we are not able to verify X amount of years, so we can only give you 30 points, we can't give you 40 points. So all that happens after we submit the visa application. But at the face level, if somebody is getting 120 points, yes, we can submit the visa application. And once that happens is when the scrutiny and the evaluation starts, Niranjan. And working with someone like us, we will ensure that there is little or no issues around them contesting or challenging some of the points that we will be claiming, and which is the work that we will do with you before we submit that particular application. Okay. Shipra has got some more questions. She has also shared her. Um, Shipra will get in touch with you and answer all your questions, because some of your questions are not pertaining to today's discussion, Shipra, which is about the EWV, so about your student visa and child. We will get in touch with you and answer all your questions. Okay? Yeah. Pritpal Singh says, hi, Pritpal, I'm good. All right, Sheikh. Thanks for sending your details into my inbox. We will definitely pick it up after we are done with the session, and expect a call from my team early next week, and we'll be in touch with you. Pritpal Singh says, do we need to the same business what we are doing already, or we can have any other options? So, Pritpal, ideally, my recommendation to people about good question, by the way. Ideally, my suggestion is to stick to what you have done before to that field, because then we can claim points for relevant self-employment. I mean, you could have been working in some other industry. And for that, we can claim something called other self-employment, but relevant self-employment is always better. So my recommendation to people always is to stick to that area which is your core competence. For instance, let's say you have been dealing with textiles, or with the clothing industry. Ideally, I would say try and think of a business in New Zealand to do, which has got a similarity for 2-3 reasons. One, you will not create a lot of doubt in the mind of the assessing visa officer, thinking, why is this guy jumping from clothing into food industry, or clothing into engineering, or whatever, unless we are able to find that connection during our early initial discussions. Then of course we can, build your case and present your visa application in such a way that it will make sense to an assessing visa officer. But by and large, my advice to my clients is to try and stick to their backgrounds. But every once in a while, recently I had a client who I think has a background in accounting, but he is a very, very passionate about doing something in hydroponic farming. Hydroponic farming is a glass house, and creating farms. And so after 3 or 4 discussions with him, I realized he is very, very passionate about it, and that got a very genuine interest in this, and he's done a lot of research in it. And he's also figured out which part of New Zealand he wants to set up this farm and what he wants to grow there and all those things. And in situations like that, I say, yeah, go for your passion. So, Pritpal, I don't know what your background is, you have not shared any details other than just ask me a couple of questions. But If you have a particular passion and you can substantiate to me and to my team why you want to pursue this, and we are convinced, we will definitely take up your case and help you to build a business plan for that particular industry. If you're not very clear and you yourself are a little unsure about the new plan, then we will encourage you to stick to your old plan. Okay, that I hopefully answers your first question. Your next question is, do you help your clients to select or buy a business also? Absolutely. We have tied up with two or three local business brokers, and we some of the leading business brokers in New Zealand are in partnership with AJV Global at the moment. So yeah, when you're interested to purchase something, absolutely, we would love to help you to connect you to those business brokers and or somebody from our own network of non-professional industries are selling. We will definitely, yeah. So the answer to that is yes, we definitely can. So Niranjan's next question is, the proposed business has to be a unique and new service? Not necessarily, Niranjan. Only if we have claim points for unique or new service, then we can, of course, then it has to be unique. But if you have not claim points, and if you already have more than 130 points, then absolutely uh, take up any business that matches your background or your interests. So yeah, if you're above 130, it doesn't have to be unique. Pritpal, if you're into interior decorations and contracting and business in Dubai, that's an interesting area. So what you can do is send us your email to info@ajvglobal.com and make sure your contact details are in that, or you can inbox us on this particular page or on my Facebook ID, and we will get in touch with you and share more information. But before that, we will need more information from you. So email your CV to info@ajvglobal.com, and we will go from there. Okay. Yeah. Niranjan, I hope I've answered your question. Okay. Right. I seem to have run through all the. Yeah, because Shipra would be interested in connecting business selling agents in your network. Yeah, we'll help you with all these connections, Shipra. Not a problem at all. But first, we need to see what is it that whether you're eligible for the entrepreneur work visa in the first place, and whether it is the viable option for you and your family, or would it make sense to for you to come back into a master's. We will need to ascertain that very clearly, which is why I'm suggesting that we would like to have another one-on-one consultation with you. All right, people. Pritpal, yeah, excellent, Niranjan. I'm glad you got all your answers. Pritpal says thanks. You're welcome, Pritpal. Look forward to receiving your email with your CV, and we will pick it up from there. Shipra, I hope most of your questions were answered. Any leftover questions we can answer later. Muhammad Ali Mona asks, do you help your client to two for work visa? I mean, and this is a tricky question because if you have a job offer in New Zealand and you want our help to get you a work visa, yeah, definitely we can help you with that. But if you're asking whether we can find a job for you and also get your work visa, the answer is no. We do not do that at the moment. We can potentially do it only for very very high end IT science kind of engineering kind of professionals. So but what you can do, sorry, where was his name? What you can do, Mohammed Ali Munna, is email your CV to info@ajvglobal.com, and one of our team members will get in touch with you and check to see whether it's even worth your while, time, and effort to even consider moving to New Zealand. We would like to assess your English skills and because see your sentence here makes me a little suspect already. So and if you're not up to the adequate English skills, we'll be upfront and point blank and tell you saying, buddy, why are you wasting your money, time, and energy and effort, and we will let you know. But if you might, this might be a typo, and you might actually have a brilliant background in some required field here in New Zealand, and in which case we will definitely advise you which is the pathway that you can look at positively. All right. Cool. All right, guys. That's 1 hour and 23 seconds of pretty much non-stop talking. And I'm quickly, before I go away. There were some questions on YouTube as well. So I'll quickly see if I can answer some of them and then I'll get off. But for everybody else on Facebook, hey, look, thank you so much. It was wonderful to interact with all of you. I'm kind of glad that I came back and did this because it's been a while. Um, and I really enjoyed doing this, although it's a little late in the night. But hey, no worries. When you like doing what you're doing, I think it really is never a big problem. Okay, GC Gaming Fighter. My friend who was living told me that PR request $27. Da da da. Okay, he's asking me a lot of technical. What is the scope of supply chain management in New Zealand? Pretty good. Uh, Gaming Fighter, please send us your CV because you have some good questions, but unfortunately, I've run out of time on this session, so I may not be able to answer your questions. So please send me your CV, GC Gaming Fighter, to info@ajvglobal.com. We will get in touch with you, and we will definitely come back to you and give you more information because I've been speaking for an hour and I'm about to fall down and go to sleep. So. Jayaprakash, same thing. We would like to help you. You have a good background, university lecturer in English, 20 years is fantastic. Yeah, so please do send us your CV as well. Right. Anybody else who I missed answering during the sessions? My apologies, but I hope that was a useful session, and this will, yeah, come and sit on Facebook and YouTube. Please come back and refer to it. And anybody else who I have not been able to answer in this session, kindly email your CV and your queries to info@ajvglobal.com, or just go to our website, ajvglobal.com, and there are toll-free numbers for India and toll-free numbers for New Zealand. Otherwise, just quite simply send us an email with your CV to info@ajvglobal.com, or you can connect with us on Facebook, and we will both then gladly come back to you and give you all the information that you guys want. All right, guys. So here's hoping New Zealand opens its borders soon and starts letting all you beautiful people back here into our beautiful country. And we at AGV Global would love to assist all of you who deserve to be in New Zealand. We will stand by you and help you to move into this fantastic country. Thank you so much for your time and patience, and I shall see you again very, very soon. Good night.